Welcome to the Private Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, here to help you unlock the mind, business, and spirit of your private practice success. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to grow, this is the place for you if you really want to create a thriving private practice. Before we dive in, I want to share something that can really make a difference in your business. Imagine having an expert in your pocket, someone available on demand whenever you need guidance. Well, that's exactly what my new program, Practice Momentum, offers. With over 30 years of experience at your fingertips, you can now get the support you need whenever you need it. Curious? Head over to brooklynstorme.com to learn more. And now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back. Oh, my goodness me. It has been a whirlwind of joy over here. I don't even know where to start. Everything's just been so good. Okay. First things first. We're just diving right in, all right? First things first. Came back from leave. I was still on leave on Monday, but I knew that I'd received 2 website wellness checks. So I can't remember if I did them Monday or Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday. No, I did them on Monday. Anyway, when people order them, I ask them, if you can hear noise, sorry, it's because I'm talking. So Buddy's decided he wants to make some noise. And they fill out a little form. It's only got a couple of questions, 2 or 3 questions, like what's your website, what's your email, and I think there's 1 or 2 about, what do you want from the audit, like what's the challenge or what's the goal kind of thing. And anyway, both of the ladies, they had said to me that you've already done one and someone back to see, if you're happy with the changes, like what do you think? Am I on the right track sort of thing? So I was like so pleased because they're totally my types of people because they're implementing stuff, right? Which that's every business coach's dream, to work with people who implement stuff. So of course I was going to look at their websites. Anyhow, the one that I want to talk to you about today, when I did hers, I saw that there was so much potential in it, but I could also see that there was a lot of hiding, a lot of shrinking, a lot of fear, it was like very watered down messages and cliches throughout the website and things like that. And you know how I feel about it. But I'm not like a total, either. I totally understand how this happens. It happens because we doubt ourselves, we question ourselves, it's imposter syndrome, all the things. But anyway, basically I was talking to her and I gave her some tips around how she could write better copy. Anyway, it was going to be a huge job because she had one of those very general sort of websites where she was, over here she's talking about one condition, over there she's talking about another. It had like a bunch of conditions, a bunch of approaches, all this. So it was just like really confusing. And you could also tell that, yes, she'd been working on it, but a lot of the things just weren't matching up, Anyway, I gave her some feedback and some tips on how to write the copy differently. And so, she requested another review and she wanted to know, is the copy sounding better? And anyway, I just opened it up, didn't expect anything, never do. And I was just like, okay, let's get started. And do you know what? I was nearly bawling my eyes out. I scrolled down and right there she had, actually I'll tell you the beginning. So I open up the website, I'm looking at it, and before I scroll down, I'm reading her message and I'm like, it's still probably not that great. And so I was giving her some guidance around how we could even improve that a little bit more. And anyway, then I scroll down and holy smokes, she has got the best copy I think I've ever read on another therapist's website. And I'm not even joking. She works with mums. And I think it's the mums, I don't have the information right in front of me right now, but I think it's something about the mums have anxiety or something like that. And anyway, she had rewritten her copy using the guidance that I'd given her. And oh my gosh, as I said, I was nearly crying. I got so emotional. I just wanted to reach through the screen and give her a hug. The copy, it was like somebody just kind of reached into my soul. And I don't even have children. I've got a fur baby, like, no offense, little fella, but yeah, I've got a fur baby. And even I could relate to it mostly, right? And then the more I scrolled, the more I was reading and the more emotional I was getting. And this is a sign that you've written really, really good copy. When somebody has an emotional response and they're feeling like you're talking just to them and only to them, that is the mark of good copy. And do you know what? It didn't disappoint. I went on to the next tab, the next tab, the next tab, or the next page, whatever you like to call it. I went into all of them. And guess what? Nearly all of it was written in this really strong, powerful way. I couldn't believe it. I mean, if I was a mum, like I as I said, I'm not a mum, but I was ready to sign up. Like, it was so good. Oh, it was just, yeah, my highest joy to read it. And I think I said to her while I was doing the audit, like, I don't think I've ever said to somebody, this is potentially like the best copy I've ever seen. Like, and you know me, right? I'm very, like, I'm blunt, I'm down the line, I'm not going to mess anybody around. And yeah, I'm always going to say, hey, we could do this differently. What about that? We could do that better. What were you thinking? But at the same time, I'm always going to be the first one to acknowledge when something's working out and it's doing really well. And this was. And yeah, I think she's stumbled upon another talent. Like, she's got a gift. I'm not even going to lie. She has a gift. She's figured it out now. She's got it. And do you know what? Everything is going to change for her. I know it. I know it. I know it. She's got an Instagram account that she also shares to her Facebook business page. And I know if I start, like, looking at her Instagram over the next little while, I know that it's going to start converting. I know that it will. And you know how I feel about socials and therapists, right? It's a whole thing. I say don't do it unless you know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's a big time suck. You've got to write your caption, research your hashtag, do the SEO, find the trendy music. Do you know what I mean? All the things. And if you don't know what to say and how to say it and all those kinds of things, it's pointless. But I'm sure that when people start reading her stuff, because it connects, I know she's going to start getting engagement. Well, not engagement. I'm going to say she's going to start to get more people over to her website to see what she does. She's going to get more downloads of her freebie. She's going to get more inquiries about how to, get started working with her. I know it. And I will ask her permission because I haven't. Like, this is just something that I was losing sleep over this last night because I'm blown away by the quality and the standard of the copy that she's been able to write. I am blown away. As I said, she's gifted. She's gifted with this. And yeah, this is like, yeah, if she wanted to change careers, she could make a ton of money writing copy for therapists. Like, seriously. She does it, I'm going to say, like, I was going to say as good as me. Doesn't that sound terrible? That sounds terrible. She probably does it better than me. Like, she's awesome. So yeah, I was over the moon about that. And funny because when I did the order, I sent it back to her and I was like gushing. Like, I'm now her biggest fan. And I was saying, this is like day and night. My gosh, like, who are you? Like, what have you done here? Like, we've unleashed a beast. Like, this is so good. And then she replied the next day and she was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so pleased you like it. I was nervous about sharing it. Yeah, it's hard getting your stuff critiqued. I know it's so hard getting your stuff critiqued, especially by someone like me who can be a bit rough around the edges sometimes. So like, I get the nervousness, and yeah, I never want anybody to feel like scared or nervous or anything like that. I get it, but she's just done so well, and I could not be happier for her. So that was kind of like the first little win and celebration. And then the second one, another reason why I had so much trouble sleeping last night was because one of the girls in Momentum, like, I ask everybody, track your numbers. And yeah, she hadn't been. And anyway, she has to make not has to make, that's not the right way to say it. She is aware that, it's 6 months in for her now. So the program goes for 12 months. She's 6 months in and she wanted to make a plan. And I said to her, yeah, sure, happy to help you with that. I'm going to need the numbers. And then she said, yeah, okay, I'll get them to you. And she got them over to me. And yeah, I spent about, 2 hours going through them. Sorry, I just whacked the microphone because I'm so excited. I'm throwing my hands around. I spent, about 2 hours just kind of going through them. And, she's totally brand new to private practice. She started her business in February this year. And it was at that time she, reached out to work with me. And the reason that she wanted a business coach was because she said, like, I'm just not sure how to go about this and I want to make sure I've got it set up correctly from the outset. So that's why she joined. Anyway, when I did her numbers, I knew that I had to check, double check, triple check everything because the numbers that were coming through were very unusual. And I was like, this can't be right. So yeah, I was double and triple checking everything. And then the other thing too is because she's new to this, I wanted to make sure she could understand when she's finished with my coaching that she goes away knowing how to interpret her numbers, because hopefully now she's seen the sense in it and the point of it and the value of it, she'll continue, and I'm sure she will. So I wanted to teach her this is how you interpret it. So I gave her all my little formulas and everything to show her my workings. And as I said, I double and triple checked everything. But if she changes nothing, she's on track for the next 12 months to generate about $125,000 for her business. And then I ran some models for her. So I created if we did it this way, if we did it that way, this is what it could look like if we made this little change over here and that little change over there. And I'm not even joking when I say it, but these are small little changes. If we reworded this differently, if we handled that differently, if we put this on the website instead of that, these are the projections. And even if she makes, they're not hard, right? She's not going to have to scrap her business and start again. They're simple changes that she can make. And so, then I ran the data for each of the different modeling. And if she makes those changes, she's got a business there that's going to be generating within the next 12 months between $240,000 and $302,000. And guess what I realized this morning? Because I was thinking about it last night and I was like, how? This is so what? And I got up, it was really early in the morning, and I got up and I was double and triple checking them again. They're all mapping correctly. And I was like, okay, this is huge. And then I looked back through our conversations and what we've been working on and stuff like that. And I can see that she's been doing nearly all of the things that have been recommended. Now, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't easy, right? For the longest time, there were things that she was aware needed to be done, but there was stuff coming up, right? We get in our heads about things. It's hard. And two, you as I'm always talking about, it's a totally different identity, isn't it? To being a therapist over here, a counsellor, psychologist, social worker, play therapist over here, but then over there, you've got to suddenly be a business owner. And how do you do that when you've never learned how and you have no experience? And then somebody's saying, well, do this thing. And you're like, well, hang on, I don't know. I don't know. But, it's she's been running with most of it. That's what's made the difference in her situation. And anyway, so then I go back to bed and I'm like so happy. So I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about this other lady who's, as I said, absolutely, she's gifted and talented when it comes to writing copy. Like she's next level. I'm talking to her later this week. She's booked a 15-minute consult. I cannot wait. Like I feel like it's Christmas and it's Christmas Eve, and I'm just like so excited to talk to her in person because I haven't yet. And I just want to like let her know what an amazing job she's done. So I couldn't sleep properly because I was on such a high from what's going on for these two people. And then I realized also very early in the morning that the client I was just telling you about with the business and, the projected earnings and stuff, guess what? She's only doing it 2 days a week. 2 days a week. I mean, I was just like, yeah. I mean, don't you just wish that you had that kind of help when you first started your private practice and you were just like on the path right from the outset? I mean, this is why I do this work, right? Obviously, she's an ideal client. This is why I do this work. I'm never going to have to worry about this particular client not being able to support herself, not being able to support her family, not being able to take leave when she needs it. She's even paying herself super. Like she is set up and she's so early on. She's got like 30 years ahead of her of this, maybe 40 even. And it feels so good. Like I just have so much peace of mind knowing like, yeah, she's got everything that she needs at this point in time to just continue and do it in a way without burning out. I know. Yeah. Okay. So something else that has come up, it was mentioned on a call that I did yesterday, but not only that, it was mentioned in a group call that I did, and then it's something I've been struggling with myself, as you know. And yesterday when I was talking to somebody about it, it just kind of like dawned on me that I haven't mentioned it here. And maybe when I did say it to this person, it could have sounded a little bit rough. I'm not sure, or a little bit kind of blunt. I don't know. But it's the truth. And hopefully it was received in the spirit that it was given, which was, not fluffing around or anything. We only had a short time and I just wanted to make sure that she understood perhaps what was going on. And yeah, as I said, it's not only her, but it was talking with her yesterday, I saw the reality of it. Often when people, share things with me, it's usually in an email or it's in Messenger on Facebook. But seeing somebody and having the conversation yesterday, a completely different energy, a completely different vibe. And I thought, I have to say something because she's not the only one. And I don't want to feel like maybe she is. So here's the thing. And I've been giving it a big build up. It's nothing that requires a big build up. But she was kind of sharing with me, I forget the actual word in the question. It was something about like, how do I plan my day better so that, the effort that I'm putting in is equaling the revenue, the money that I'm getting back. Those weren't her exact words, but that was like the gist of it. As I've said to you before, I don't remember things word for word. I remember things by the feeling that was evoked at the time. And when I was listening to her say that, I absolutely knew in an instant what she was talking about. She went on to give an example. And, I think she was talking about, she'll get up to go and do something. And maybe it's like, I think she said something like, oh, pick up a coffee cup and then I wipe the table and then I see a plant might need watering. So then I'll go and water the plant. And then I see that, this thing needs doing. So I'll do that. And it's just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like domino effect. And you just keep doing all these things. And then you realize that you're not doing work. So she's asking like, how do I get this sorted? Like, how do I plan my day so that this doesn't happen as much? Any ideas, any guidance? And I just without even thinking, like I was just not even editing. It's just like, like, I don't know, sometimes the words just come out before I think about it. And I just said to her, well, it's happening because you don't know what to do. Like, you don't know, yeah, basically what to do. And straight when I said it, I was like, I wanted to be so reassuring. And I said to her, it's normal. Like, it happens to so many of us. I know it happens to me because, this domino effect of getting caught up with all these other things, it happens to me too. Like, I have, I used to have so many different scraps of paper on my desk, right? All with very urgent, important things scribbled down on them that I never even used to reread. I since have started, like, I think I mentioned before, I got like a pack of 12 notebooks off Temu, and I've got like a different notebook for different things, and I keep them all in a little stack on my desk. And then as I want to write something down, I just find the correct notebook and I'm starting to use that, right? It's my kind of my new system, but I've still got 12 notebooks. If you had a look at my desktop computer, you're going to see there's a gazillion tabs. I know this happens for so many of you as well. Those kind of are what she's talking about. But I think, even a more clear way of saying it is, how you like go on to check an email, or you go on and you're going to like do a post to promote your business or something like that, but then you end up getting sidetracked and you end up we go down rabbit holes, or we say we end up chasing bright shiny objects and things like that, but we're getting sidetracked. And I think the sidetrack happens, if I'm honest, because you don't know what you're actually meant to be doing. That's why. If you know what you needed to do, you'd be doing it. I think the getting sidetracked is a manifestation of, just not having that awareness of what are the steps here. And I started to think about it more. And I realized too that we go and we get our qualifications and we get excited about the business and everything, but we don't have that business experience. We're just expecting we're going to know how to do it. And it's weird because why does that even happen? I mean, you wouldn't get behind the wheel of a car and drive it just expecting you would know how to do it. You would never, jump off the end of the local pier thinking you could swim if you'd never swum before or you'd never learned or had a lesson. Yet here we are mucking around with our livelihoods without any training. We don't, it's like, let's say you go and, I don't know, I used to work at Pancake Parlour, right? So I'm just going to use this as an example, but I was studying at university. I was working at Pancake Parlour around that. And, I remembered I had to apply for it. And, there was back then it was the newspaper. I know. I saw the ad in the newspaper and then I had to ring them up. They asked me some questions. I went in, there was a job description. They asked me questions, all of this. I ended up getting the job, and then there was like training. You've got to shadow somebody for a little while. So it was like part of the orientation and induction, all of that. And then I was like doing the job, and there was a team leader. I don't remember if she was called a team leader or a supervisor. I don't remember. I do remember her name was Leith, and I really was intrigued by that name and never got to ask her about it because I felt very intimidated by Leith because she was, to me, she was drop dead gorgeous and she was really, really smart. And I just felt like, she was all that and a bit more, and I wasn't. So I never mentioned it. But she would check in with me throughout a shift and she'd be saying to me, okay, so you handled that really well when you took that order, but next time do this. Do you know what I mean? So I was constantly getting some feedback, and then the manager would have a meeting with me once a month to like give me feedback and stuff like that. And I realized this doesn't happen for us because when you go into business, you're not working for anybody. So none of that structure and support is around, right? So, we kind of like, oh, this is another thing. Oh, let me tell you about this. We kind of try and get pseudo support, either from peers, which we don't know what's working for people and what's not, right? And I know that our community is not very good at critical thinking sometimes, in terms of, we get told stuff and we just kind of like run with it instead of like stopping and asking, like, why? So I think sometimes, and it happened to me too, we ask for help from peers, they give us the help and we implement it because we just somehow feel so crappy about ourselves. We assume everybody else must know what they're doing and we try and do the stuff. And, sometimes you find out later on that person is struggling in their business, but they're trying to be nice to you and help you. But now you're using the advice and the strategies that aren't working for somebody else and you're wondering why they're now not working for you. Do you see what I mean? So we do that, or we go and ask a supervisor. And this is like really becoming problematic. I'm just hearing so much more about it. I don't know if it's just because I've been mentioning it a bit more on the podcast or what, but I'm really, really, really concerned. This week alone, I think I've spoken to about 3 people that are seriously undercharging. One counsellor has a master's degree in counselling. She's in Queensland. She's got a master's degree. She's charging $45 for a session. I was mortified. I said to her, how did you come up with that? And she said, oh, well, I was just so nervous because I'm just new to counselling. And, I discussed it with my supervisor and my supervisor said this was a really good fee. And I was like fuming. I mean, seriously, if it would be possible for steam to come out of my ears, it really was. I was fuming. I'm so glad that I had the wherewithal to refrain from asking for the details of the supervisor, because I would have like been so close to like typing out an email or even getting on the phone and saying, how dare you? Like, you're a woman. She's a woman. What on earth are you doing? Like, setting her up for financial failure, doom and gloom. Like, who are you? Like, this is not okay. It's costing her, $40 to deliver the session. Would you work for $5 and then have to pay like your super out of it? You wouldn't. So why on earth would you sleep well at night knowing your advice to somebody to start their private practice was to charge $40 friggin'? But then here's the thing that really, it really gets me. When I'm talking to, whoever it is, because this person's not the only one, and I say, well, hang on, no, we need to get this sorted out. She's a counsellor. For, counsellors, the average session rate is 150 to 160. So you're charging 45, like, that's going to be a problem, and it's affecting how people are perceiving the quality of the service that you're providing. And, we need to do something about this fee. But it's in their head now that they should only charge this fee. They're not good enough to charge the regular fee. If their supervisor's recommending it, and they have regular supervision, right? This is the only time they've ever spoken to me. So it's like, who am I? So it's really hard for them to get on board with what I'm saying. And I do everything I can to try and help them. But I know, like, it's a whole process. It's a whole mindset shift that they're going to have to go through. But yeah, there was, a bunch of women as well this week that, again, the recurring theme, being told by their supervisors. I don't understand where this is coming from. It really irks me to the point where I went on to ACA and Pack4 websites to look at all the supervisor information, and it says in both of them that you can go and talk to your supervisor about your clinical work and your private practice. And it really peed me off no end, because clearly the supervisors that are giving out this information either don't have experience running a private practice, or they've got their own money issues, or they're like clueless around business. Like, I just don't get it. And here's the thing: you trust your supervisor, right? I don't know what to do about it. I really feel like this advice is not coming from qualified or experienced people, and what's happening is that some of these clients, not all of them, but some of these clients that I'm talking to you about who've got that bad advice, they've been like, oh, I need to find other ways to make money. I'm like, no, you don't. You just have to raise your fee. But they're not ready to. They don't want to, accept that, they were given like not fantastic advice. I get it. Fine. So they go off and they do the, Rise Up supervision course or something like that. And they become supervisors. And this worries me, because then I'm thinking, what advice are they now going to give their supervisees about fees? Like, I think that just like we have scope of practice for counsellors and psychologists and social workers and play therapists, I think we need to start applying scope of practice and competencies around private practice guidance and business guidance to supervisors to stop this from happening, because it's really, really, really damaging. And yeah, you know me, like, I'm all about, like, my story with the money. I'm not going to go into it again. So yeah, if you're getting advice from your supervisor to charge less than the national average, ask why. Like, it's okay. You're allowed to ask why. You're not going to get into trouble. They will still like you. You will still have the relationship, but, use some critical thinking here. Find out, like, oh, that's really interesting. I understand that most counsellors are charging minimum 150 to 160, but you're telling me to charge 45. I'm just like curious, like, can you talk me through your thought process here so I can understand? Like, approach it like that. But I mean, you should never be working for less than minimum wage. No. Is it any wonder, like, so many of us have to deal with the BS of imposter syndrome and stuff like that when we've got supervisors misinforming us and misadvising us about how to run our businesses? Anyway, I'm getting off topic and going on a tangent. Totally not like me. Yet totally like me. Anyway, my lovelies, I just wanted to share these with you today because I want you to get inspired. The recurring pattern here is like with the therapist, with the website. Now she's written this beautiful, beautiful copy. As I said before, I'll ask her when I connect with her, would it be okay to share her website? I mean, she might say no, she might say yes. I don't know. There's not going to be any pressure, obviously, but I think it'd be really helpful for you to see it. So the sharing her story, letting you know about this other client that I'm working with at the moment, and to realize she's only working the 2 days a week, but she's got potential there to be generating over 300K in the upcoming 12 months, depending on like what model she chooses to go with, which is totally her decision, of course. And then also understanding, it's one thing to experience getting sidetracked, and you think to yourself, yeah, how can I just, make a plan and stick to a plan? That's going to feel really hard to do if you don't know how to do the things that are in the plan. So I don't know, like if you had a 90-day plan, 30-day plan, 1 week plan, 1 day plan, you could write out the things that you need to do. But if you don't know how to do those things, you're going to avoid it. You're going to go down sidetrack land again. I think just learn the things. And that's what happens when we work together in momentum. You learn the things. And as you've heard today, like we've just got another example here of what's possible when you know what to do. Okay. So anyway, if you do want help with your practice, of course, just reach out. Let me know. We can have a quick chat. No problem. But that's it for today. And I'm so excited to talk to you on Wednesday because I've got something else to share with you as well. But anyway, I have to go now. But have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorme.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.